closer to the horror. Resident Evil Deadly Silence, only on Nintendo DS.
I was asked in my recent live stream, which is my favorite Resident Evil 1 port. My answer is always Resident Evil Deadly Silence on the Nintendo DS. That is one of the versions that most people have overlooked. I get it. There's a lot of love for the other ones. You got Resident Evil, the director's cut, the one we tried out for the live stream, the good version out of the 3 ones that were released. And it's pretty damn good, man. It is off the hook. But the Resident Evil DS version, dude, they threw in so much extra content. Now, originally I could have just presented gameplay footage of the PS1 or maybe just a remake. Just because, you know, today's modern graphics look better to present on a big-ass 4K TV. I think most people are watching YouTube on their phones these days, right? So I guess maybe that doesn't even matter. But in this case, I mean, if I'm talking about Resident Evil DS and I got that game, dude, I might as well show you what it looks like. I was able to play it on the 3DS, so it looks even better. And what better way to present it than Ghetto Vision? The good thing about all the different versions of RE1 was that they always released something exclusive, basically. The best version I think that I can think of when it comes to the consoles, it would probably have to go to the Sega Saturn one, because that one, they threw in 2 tyrants to face off against. There was like a golden tyrant, zombie Wesker you can encounter in their extreme battle mode. I forgot what that version was called, but here's the DS version where they throw in additional content, extra costumes, extra features. You got a whole new mode they called Rebirth mode, giving you more puzzles to solve, more different, more like little mini games like Master of Knifing, as they called it, where you're in this first-person mode and you attack any enemies that have come at you. You use the stylus pen as if it was the combat knife. I love it, especially since you tap it and you're like shanking them. Woo, pretty cool. You can also get critical hits. Dude, they knew what they were doing with this friggin' minigame. So you got yourself some extra costumes. I've shown those in the 10 Awesome Facts that I did for this game specifically. And as you can see, you got Rebecca's iconic cheerleader outfit. They threw that one in Resident Evil 0 for the remasters, if you guys have seen the previous stream I did. But anyways, you got the knife shortcut command from Resident Evil 4. You remember that shit? Where all you gotta do is you hold, I think it was L1 button, and Leon whips out the knife already instead of having to go into the inventory menu, whip it out, equip, so-and-so. Nah, dude, shortcut mode with this one. Yeah, that gives you already a huge advantage. One of the best things when it came to taking down the Cerberus was you pop them once with a handgun, boop, run up to them, shank repeatedly. And it works so fluidly when it comes to the Resident Evil DS version. Everything's good and it doesn't feel too tanky as well. That's one thing that I gotta mention because they worked on that. On the very first version, you could tell it's so goddamn tanky. And then in the second one, there was slight less tankiness. I don't know if I can describe it right that way, but it's just when you're aiming and if you want to like immediately aim down and shoot, you could do that with the DS version, but in the other versions, your character kind of stiffens up and it's like the command does not apply. Now, one of the other best things about the game is you can skip the door loading scenes, man. That's awesome. That's one of the best things to do. I get it. That's part of the thing about the old school games, looking at the door, but dude, that shit gets tiresome. You don't want to look at it every single time, especially when you're doing multiple playthroughs. And with this game, they knew to cut that shit out. They were like, you want to look at it? If you're not, press the X button or the A button. Another exclusive thing about this game was that it came with local multiplayer. Up to 4 players. Isn't that something? They had like co-op or compete against each other. The one thing that sucked though was you couldn't see the actual other players like on your screen. You could only see a star, like a see-through star. And that's, I guess that's the best they could do at the time. But it makes you wonder, was it worth it then to play that mode? I want to say maybe so, just because I can't think of any other games besides the Outbreak games to give us a chance to play with the tank controls old school style in a multiplayer mode. So it wasn't the best mode, but I'd say it's at least trying something. I wonder how many people actually got 4 players to play it though. Now, one of the other best things about this game is outside the game. I mean, I'm talking the front cover art right there. That shit was drawn by Shinkiro himself. Isn't that amazing? When have we ever gotten Shinkiro to draw Resident Evil? I mean, there was Dead Aim, another one of my favorites. But that's cool when we get him to work on the front cover art for the game. Can't say that's a bad thing at all right there. They also did add some new tracks. I heard they removed some, but whenever I play the game, I can never spot them. I just know that they did include some new ones. Like there was the record player song. There's like this tune that comes to it. It's like slightly off, almost by 50%. There are just so many things that were utilized correctly with this game, man. They throw in not just those additions, but there's like a chimera that appears a lot, like later on inside the Spencer mansion instead of just when you encounter them at the lab. That shit caught me by surprise, and they did it in a pretty good way too. I remember there was also this door with a blade with like a sword that's been stabbed through. You get to pull that out. I like that the dual screens, one of them gives us the map. The map is displayed there. You get to see where you're at, what your condition is, since it blinks a certain color. If you're on caution, it blinks yellow. You're in danger, blinks red. This is just, it's everything that you could ever want from the original RE1 all slapped into one. Except for, of course, unfortunately, they didn't throw in all the other console exclusivities in there, such as that assault rifle that was only on the PC version, or the Golden Tyrant and Zombie Wesker from the Sega Saturn version. Those aren't in this one, so those still have their own perks, if you think about it. But here, I'm telling you, they crammed in so much. You still have the FMV sequences. They say they're more compressed, but I guess they are. But you can't tell, like, everything looks good this way. It's surprising how well this works.
Woo. Let's see if I can do this. Well, that's pretty cool. Can't hit him while he's like that, only when he opens his mouth. And like a few frames before he's... Ooh, like right here. But not... Oh, crap. Ooh, just barely. There you go. He's out of commission.
You can also play as the Bravo team members with action replay codes, but it's cool that you can still do that. And I'm telling you, they were so ahead of their game with this one. It was the last time they re-released Resident Evil 1, I guess. You can also reload whenever, just like with the OG Resident Evil 4 game. So that's another thing that they added here from RE4. You got plenty of cool puzzles, like the balancing of the scale, the CPR one with Richard Eichen. That one was making my ass run out of breath. It was actually a struggle, and I remember it would always be like that, because it always felt randomly with the mic.
Oh boy. God damn. Oh god, I'm lightheaded.
And the cool thing as well about the Rebirth mode is that they placed certain enemies together that you normally wouldn't see, such as a bunch of crows and Cerberus in the same room, or zombies and spiders in the same room. There's also a flopping shark by the secret waterfall entrance. Oh, and you guys like that knife trick in Aliens? Well, they threw that in here as well. It's actually a part of George Trevor's gravestone.
Oh, this one. Hell yeah. Here's a kick-ass one. Damn. Got too carried away.
There's also a dart game. I thought that was unique. Not bad, right?
Ooh, man, this is a tough one. Damn it. That's a tough one. Oh, man. Oh, I keep throwing them off. Only one?
And at the end, when you take on the tyrant for a second time, I could have sworn that his claws extended once Brad dropped the rocket launcher. And also, Brad says this. That's new dialogue, right? I don't recall hearing that when it came to the PS1 versions. But you know what's surprising? When this game came out, it actually got bad reviews. Can you believe that shit? And the reasons why was because people said that they were just fed up. That was their reason. They were fed up with the re-releases of Resident Evil 1.
Resident Evil Deadly Silence, to be exact, because silence can be deadly. And silent. And boring. These days, Capcom is issuing more re-releases than George Lucas. He's gonna need some Howard the Duck prequels if he wants to catch up. But constantly trying to relive your former glory days is not cool. The problem with this is that Resident Evil has aged dreadfully. Just like George Lucas's vision. And just like Lucas, this game is becoming a zombie. By that we mean it was dead a long time ago. It's ugly and spews forth horrible dialogue. The controls reek of the 90s more than Parker Posey singing an Alanis Morissette song. In Capcom's defense, Deadly Silence has been updated a tiny bit. The user now gets the joy of having touchscreen puzzles and knife battles. Stab and splash away at your touchscreen. This 10-year-old crap drops a deuce out of 5.
Ain't that some shit, man? Fucking Street Fighter 2 gets re-released so many times and no one complains. But when Resident Evil 1 got re-released, what the fuck? Everyone threw a fit. I was like, I can't believe it. Critics were bashing this game for the dumbest reason. Just because they were tired of Resident Evil 1. Man, I get it if they had butchered it in this version. I get it. But no, they added shit to it. It's incredible the amount of work that was put into this one port, and it was bashed. It's possible that because of those bastards, we never got a Resident Evil 2 DS. Oh man, can you believe if that would have been the reason why? I still don't know the reason why. Well, wait. The reason would always likely be the sales numbers. So if those sales numbers just weren't as high as Capcom was hoping for, damn, I can't even begin to think of what new shit they would have thrown into Resident Evil 2 Deadly Silence. Oh man, I even made a video about that long ago. Now that I think about it, like, that's how excited I was for Resident Evil 2 Deadly Silence. Well, that's it for the video. Check out my Patreon. I post new content there, new exclusive content there every day. Just for $1, you get more entertainment there than Hulu or today's streaming services, because if you think about it, you probably only watch 1 or 2 shows out of the hundreds of shows and movies that are available. Oh, but they hide all the good shit and make you pay extra to watch them once. Not over at the Patreon, homie. Pay once a month and you get everything. All exclusivos. Get to check out all the new comics I've been working on. And all the new videos, reviews, and rants, and podcast vids, all of them, you name it. And if you're at it, might as well check out the merch.